In space, no one can hear you scream. Let's go into outer space! Good day, everybody. This is Peter Barrow, and here we are with Space Cadets Away Missions. It's a new game by Stronghold Games. And here we have set up a scenario from the promo scenario and illustration book, which came with the Kickstarter. And the scenario is Deep Space Heavy Cruiser. Report from Dr. Hugo Garcia. It was odd, knowing we were further from home than any other people had ever been. But considering the size of the alien warship we were about to board, achieving immortality in the record books was the last thing on our minds. I won't read the whole thing. But I randomly selected 3 Rocketeers for this mission. First we have Captain Ben Riggs. 6 health, 4 oxygen. And for his starting items, I gave him his teleradio personal item, which allows him to use his command special overkill option on Rocketeers in any tile. And the command option is per overkill spent, and assuming you know how the overkill mechanic works in this game, but you'll see it as we play. Per overkill spent, give 1 free command action point, this special command action point, to a Rocketeer except self in same tile. But with the teleradio, you can put it on a Rocketeer of in any tile. And we gave him a atomic rifle, handy that. An accelerator hypo, one of my favorite items in the game. You can only use it once, but Rocketeer loses 1 health point. He resets all of his action points in spent slot to available slot, which is very powerful because for the cost of 1 health, you can make 6 actions in a turn. Very good when you're in a bind. Next we have First Officer Annie Fletcher. And she's got 4 health, a non-combat action. And for her overkill option is give 1 free move action to self or Rocketeer in the same tile. And her personal item is a headset. First Officer can use move out, her overkill option, on a Rocketeer in any tile. It's basically the same as the Captain's teleradio. And she has an atomic rifle as well as the common cold, which says, discard this card and spend 1 action point to attempt IQ roll. Success eliminates all aliens in tile. Thralls are unaffected. That is also a nice item when you're in a bind. And lastly, I gave her the scanner, which use when scanning. Scan any unscanned tile instead of nearest, which I think will be helpful in this mission. And our third and final Rocketeer is Dr. Hugo Garcia, who has 5 health, a non-combat action point, and his overkill option is Sawbones. Restore 1 health point to self or to 1 Rocketeer in the same tile. And his personal item is a med pack, naturally. And it says Doctor can use Sawbones at range 1 in line of sight and is +1 die for all heal actions. And to go with that, I also gave the Doctor a first aid kit, which is +2 dice for all IQ heal actions. I gave him the tools, which is reroll any IQ action. If reroll fails, discard tools. And for a weapon, he has the sonic shotgun. The overkill option is impact. Stun a 1 hit point alien in or adjacent to the target tile. And those are the Rocketeers. Here's where they've infiltrated, docked their shuttlecraft into the alien heavy cruiser. So, this is a kind of a tight quarter mission, which should be interesting. I don't think I've played a mission like this, where there's these single tile areas. Might make it easier, might make it more difficult, I'm not sure. I'm thinking, at least in this section, it'll make it a little bit easier, because, you know, there's just generally less direction from which to be attacked, and it creates bottlenecks, which can be good because those saucermen, when they get on the board, they tend to pile up. The object of the scenario is to defeat the Master Brain and escape via the shuttlecraft. So, the Master Brain is in one of these 3 tiles. There is also in either this tile or that tile a synaptic amplifier and or a thrall control, which are probably, I'm going to try and disable immediately before moving on, because if we run into any sentinels, the synaptic amplifier will be quite a nuisance, because it allows the sentinels to go through closed hatches, which normally it cannot do. And the thrall control is just generally important to turn off, because until it is, the thralls are actually war thralls, which are actually quite mean, because they can roll 3 dice to attack, and they also move around brains in jars, whatever. Alright, so that's set up. Let's get on with it. First things first, Captain Ben Riggs will be the first to go. And he is going to scan, and I think I'm going to send him left in this direction to turn off either the synaptic amplifier or thrall control, whatever this happens to be. So, first tile scanned will be this one here. And we have a tile with a hatch, which can be a nuisance, but since there's already a hatch in the shuttlecraft, it's no big deal. There is an ionoscope in this tile, and there's a leader, a saucerman, and a thrall. It's kind of a crappy combo, but should be able to handle it. So, that's a scan. I think his first action will necessarily have to be to open the hatch. Hatch open. Second action will be to attack. Now, the atomic rifle when it is rolling 1 hex away, has 5 dice, and it's hitting on 1s, 2s, and 3s. Let's see what we get. Okay. Mundane, we only got 1 success, which is still better than nothing. So, I think we'll naturally get rid of the leader, because he will be the biggest nuisance. For his third action, we'll move him into the tile. I'm always tempted to spend another oxygen token and do another action, because that is something you can do in the game. You may spend 1 O2 per game turn for 1 extra standard AP. But since we already start with 4, and we're early going in the game, we kind of want to conserve them, because there are certain alien tokens which eat up oxygen. I think it's called unnatural fear or something like that. Unreasonable fear. Alright, so that is the captain's turn. Next, I think we'll we'll go with First Officer Annie Fletcher. So she will scan, and I'm going to go right with her so she can turn off the whatever it is happening down here. Alright, we got an open, no hatch there. We have a mentality helmet, which I'm not sure what that does. And a leader, saucerman, and thrall. The exact same thing. Okay. Leader, saucerman, and thrall. So, her first action will be to blow them away. Attack action. She also has an atomic rifle. So 5 dice. Ooh, good roll. We've got 1, 2, and a 3. So that's 1 hit. We'll take out the leader. And we have 2 overkills. So, we have the option of the move out overkill option, or we could choose one of the alien options, and the leader allows us to stun 1 leader or saucerman. For 1 overkill, I'm going to move Garcia into the tile, and I think I will stun this saucerman like so. And next action will be another attack action. Which is 1 success. So we'll take out this saucerman. And for her third and final action, her non-combat action, she will move into that tile. Now, I should have... Mentality helmet would have been picked up by Dr. Hugo, and the ionoscope would have been picked up by Captain Ben Riggs. So let's get those cards out of there and see what we got. So, Captain Ben Riggs got an ionoscope, and Dr. Hugo Garcia has a mentality helmet, which lets him ignore a panic or mind control effect. And the ionoscope of the captains gives +1 success for any IQ die roll. Spend charge before rolling. It's not bad. Okay. So, next we have Dr. Hugo Garcia. Dr. Garcia is next. He's going to scan, and he will scan right here. Nice empty tile. We've got a strangely glowing orb. How nice. And we have a... oh no. It's a brain. A leader and a saucerman. Those are awful. We have a brain, a leader, and a saucerman. So, what will the good doctor do? I think first of all, he is going to attempt to subdue that war thrall. So, that is an IQ action. He is an IQ of 4. So, And that is a complete and utter failure. Okay. Alright, for his second action, he's going to fire his sonic shotgun at that brain in the jar space. And we have a 1 and a 2. So, the brains in the jars have 2 hit points. So it does 1. And we're going to use the overkill of the brain in the jar, which is stun all other aliens in or adjacent to the brain's tile. So, the saucerman and the leader are stunned. And for the last action of Garcia, he's going to try and subdue that war thrall again. And he succeeds. I also got an overkill, but I can't use it in this scenario, in this circumstance, because it is a war thrall. But he's out of the way, no longer a threat. There's no real way I can make use of that overkill. So that'll be that. And for killing that war thrall, or subduing it, Hugo Garcia gets a wire component, which is gotten automatically with any subduing of a war thrall. So, that being the last Rocketeer turn, it is now time for the aliens to go. And we go by order of sentience, of which the brain in the jar is highest. So it does not move, and it attacks automatically. And what it does, inflicts mind control on all Rocketeers within brain's range, which is 2. Which that means Hugo Garcia and Annie Fletcher, who are both within 1 tile, are going to each lose an action point. As for all the other aliens on the board, the sauceman and leader are all stunned, but this war thrall in the captain's tile will get to attack with 3 dice. And those are no hits, so that's good. And also, we have the cleanup phase, which results in the stunned aliens awakening, and hatches closing. Alright, we reset the Rocketeers' action points and scan tokens, which these actually are removed until an order is decided. Now, what shall we do?